guys, welcome to today's video. Today we will be doing a follow along mobility routine specifically for Christmas. We thought we'll just do a little special for you so that you can keep working on your mobility even if it's only like 20 minutes a day. So I will be doing the first half and then Jan will be doing the second half. We'll start with the hip and then we'll move over to shoulder and some scapula. For the warm-up we will do some spinal waves. First of all, to just get the spine a little bit moving and also to warm up the entire body. So we'll be starting by just like having our shoulders or arms hanging down, and then the head leads the way, and we'll just imagine like segmenting our spine down into that forward fold, and then the neck or the head leads, basically going back into extension of the spine, and then just like a wave going back down into that forward fold. And we'll just start slow. You can join in now. Slow and controlled. And then to warm up, we'll then go a little bit faster. Keep the shoulders and the arms hanging, especially when you come up. You don't want to go into retraction of the scapula. Just keep them hanging. And a bit faster. And one more. Nice. Next up, we will be back on the ground doing some basic 90-90 external rotation work. So we will be doing some external rotation kinetic stretches paired with the 90-90 transfer. So make sure that you have enough space to transfer over to the other side and be in that 90-90 position here as well, okay? So for the external rotation kinetic stretch, we'll be focusing on the front leg. If you're uncomfortable in a 90-90, then that is where you can use the yoga block and sit elevated or decrease the angle, for example, in the rear leg, okay? So you won't need that. So from here, there are several options that you have. You can have your hands on the side, assisting you on the way up and down. You can have your hands like both hands off the ground, just one hand on the ground. When you have both hands off the ground, it's harder. So when it's the modified hard variation is to have them on the side. The hardest part is to have them either behind your back or overhead, okay? So I'll just show you the first one, the easiest variation. You want to engage the rails contraction, so you want to think of lifting the foot off the ground. And with that engaged, so the inner thigh adductors engaged, you then want to lean forward, anterior pelvic tilt, so tailbone to the sky, straight back, and use that rails contraction to come into your deepest stretch with a straight back. So chest towards the wall in front of you. When you reach your deepest position, push the heel and the entire leg into the ground, pales contraction, and come back up. Again, if you want to make this harder, you're then going to use no hands, okay? So we'll be doing 5 repetitions on one side, and then we'll be doing the transfer over to the other side. So deep breath in, engage your core, choose which variation you want to do. Engage the rails tissue. So think of lifting the foot off the ground, external rotation, adductors engaged, and lean forward, chest towards the wall in front of you, belly button towards the knee, and push up, leg into the ground. Number 2, rails contraction. Think of lifting the leg off, straight back, and push. This is too easy. Choose a harder variation. Come on. 2 more. Deep breath in, rails contraction. Imagine the lift off, fight for it. And 1 more, make this the hardest repetition, come on. Okay, in that 90-90, now take the rear leg, if you want to make this hard. No hands if you want to make this a little bit easier, hands behind your back. Okay, so now, lift the rear leg's knee off the ground, swipe the heel through on your toes, then you will find yourself in that nice sleeper position or bear sit position, and then you go over to the other side, swipe the heel through on the now rear leg, front leg touches first, rear leg follows. Nice. From here, deep breath in, 5 repetitions on this side. You might be better, you might be worse on this side, so choose a progression that suits you for that side as well, okay? Deep breath in, rails contraction, straight back, lean forward, pales push into the ground. Okay, so the thing is, when you choose a progression that is too hard for you, you will not be able to engage the muscles necessary that you want to work on, okay? So choose a progression that is challenging, but still allows you to feel the contraction and to really control the movement. So for example, if this is too hard, put 1 hand onto the ground, deep breath in, rep number 2, rails contraction, fight, pales contraction, push down, and then all of a sudden you feel the movement a lot better, and it's still a lot more challenging because you have to fight more for the engagement, okay? Deep breath in, rep number 3, straight back, push up, nice. Can even assist yourself on the way down if you want. And then no assistance on the way up. 1 more, rails contraction, imagine lifting off the ground just towards the wall in front of you. Push down, tailbone to the sky. Nice. From here, we'll now go into a squat transfer, which means you're going to bring the front leg foot in, and then you're going to hover the other leg over the now bent leg, okay? So 90-90, deep breath in, hover, so it's a decreased 90-90, and from here, lift the rear leg, hover it over the front leg. From here, you can get into this position, so you basically just now put the weight on the hip flexion leg, so in my case, the left leg. If you want to use your hands, push yourself up into that half squat basically, and from here, you're going to turn into a squat, okay? So that looks like when I'm here, pushing up. If you want to use your hands, you basically turn over and end up in a squat. Great. So we're going to do squat kinetic stretches now. So go into the deepest comfortable squat you can. Again, if you're not comfortable in the squat, you can then use an elevation to sit in a squat that is comfortable for you. And then when we're doing the squat kinetic stretches, you can then focus on lowering onto the yoga blocks like a box squat and then pushing back up from there, okay? So it's not about fighting to go as low as possible and then falling backwards. Find a position or height, and if that's up here, that's totally okay, that is comfortable for you to go in and out of, where you don't have to struggle with balance or mobility.
So guys, as Leslie already said, if you are comfortable squatting deep and you have no problems with that, you can just put the yoga blocks or the obstacle aside. And we're gonna do 6 slow and controlled kinetic stretches now. For the kinetic stretch, remember, it's the rails contraction which pulls us deeper into the position. And so engage your hip flexors and also think of max dorsiflexion, like pulling your feet and your toes closer to the shin. So not like that, obviously, but just imagining that, engaging your tibialis anterior, and then start to go down with the rails contraction. Remember, hip flexors engaged. Sit down in the deepest position. Then from the ground, think of pushing the earth away. Engage the patelis contraction, which is opening side, so hamstrings, glutes, and trying to go out of dorsiflexion, pushing the earth away, and then standing up. Okay, so 6 repetitions, maximum tension. So deep breath, make a fist, or you can also put your arms behind your head, strong. 1, rails, hip flexors engaged, dorsiflexion is engaged here. Push the earth away when you're down. 3rd one. Let's do 3 more. Hip flexors fully engaged. Tibialis anterior, sit down. 2 more. Think of a max squat. You have 200 kilos here on your neck and you want to squat them down, and you have to really fight against the weight. Awesome, guys. So 6 repetitions done. Now let's move on to some more toe work. So guys, you're not seeing me right now. It doesn't matter. We're gonna focus on 1 minute toe movement here, which is so important that you maintain or keep strengthening your toes so they can move freely and independently and don't lose their function over the time. So for toe movement, let's put all toes up. I'm gonna take 1 minute after I explain it to you. So first we're gonna try to put all toes up, then spread them as wide as we can, and then play a piano. So first the pinky down, and then let the others follow, and the last toe is the big toe. We're gonna do that 3 to 4 times. So up and spread it, and then after that we're gonna put up all toes again, and then we try to think of only touching the big toe. The others stay in the air. We're gonna do that again 4 to 5 times, and after that all on the ground. And we're gonna only lift up the big toe. Okay, and the last one is everything is on the ground again. Spread it, and then all small toes lift up and the big toe stays on the ground. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna take the time, 1 minute. Let's start from here. All up. And slowly play piano, first the pinky, and then let the others follow. As good as you can. As good as you can. Try it as often as possible when you're at home. This is so easy to do. Beautiful. 1 more time. Nice. All toes on the ground, and now big one up. 1. 2, 3, 4. Big one stays on the ground, all others come up. Nice. And the last one, all up, and the big toe touches the ground, and all the other toes stay up in the air. Big one touches, touch. I almost messed that up, the last one. Great. So that was just 1 minute toe movement, which is very good also for brain function, brain work. Brain has to work a lot here to really control each toe independently, especially the big toe. It's all about the big toe because it's the most important toe. Obviously the others have to be there as well and strong as well. Therefore we really try to spread them and place them really as wide as possible, like spreading the fingers, okay? Great, let's move on to some scapula stuff. So guys, as I said, scapula work. So let's get in a quadruped position. The function and control of the scapula is really important for all overhead mobility, for all overhead stuff, but also, of course, for push-ups. So in the quadruped position, we focus on, if you know scapular cars, you know the movement, we focus on scapula circles, but really controlled and slow. What we don't want here, as we go down in protraction, maybe bending the elbows, so no bending in the elbows, and we don't want our thoracic spine, our chest, to drop with the scapula, so we fake more range of motion, we fake more movement of the scapula, especially in retraction, and we don't want that. So try to think of having that core engaged, slight PPT, and don't let the thoracic spine go into extension and sink in, okay? So we're gonna go for 6 circles, so 3 circles, very slow and controlled clockwise, and 3 circles counterclockwise. So from here, take a deep breath. As I said, engage your core and upper body, and then slowly sink into your scapulas. As much retraction as you can without bending the elbows. Then go up into elevation, but staying in retraction. And slowly push up. Elevation and depression. And from here, slide the scapulas back as good as you can. Depression and protraction. From here, slowly come down. Remember, no thoracic movement here. It's hard, I know. Then up into elevation. Push up as high as you can. And then go back into depression with holding that protraction. Holding the depression, sliding into retraction. Last rep here, clockwise. Going up with the retraction and elevation. Elbows staying straight, guys. And reverse the movement. So from retraction up into depression and protraction. Hold that here, push your scapulas out. Forward and sink in. Stay up high, elevation. From here, slide back. Up. Push the shoulders forward, scapulas should follow here. And retract and depress the scapulas. Last rep here. Up. Forward. Down. And back. Beautiful, guys. Great job, great job. Was war das jetzt? Shoulder internal. So let's move on to some shoulder internal rotation work. Shoulder internal rotation, so important. Again, not only for every overhead stuff, but for the health and longevity of your shoulder joint. Of course, there's a lot of variation to internal rotation. We're gonna use a double variation here. So make yourself comfortable, wherever that is. I'm using 2 yoga blocks right here. And now for the double variation, I just go here in this position. So my wrists are touching, the upper side of my hand is touching, and my elbows are right here on the inside of my knees. Try not to fall into a rounded back too much, like that. I go to the side so you see my rounded back. So that should not happen. To fake more internal rotation, as I press my knees together, you see I'm very rounded. Try to really be upright, push the chest out, so there is as little protraction of the scapula, as little of a rounded back as possible here, okay? So, with that position, thinking all the time, pushing your chest out, and you should feel the stretch right here, deep down in your shoulder, okay? We're gonna hold that for 1 minute. So if you found your stretch, if it's not intense enough, remember, push your chest out, stay really, really straight with your upper body, and press the knees closer together. 1 minute. Maybe you can intensify the stretch after a few seconds if you get used to the position. We're gonna apply isometrics after the 1 minute. So think in this position of pushing both elbows after the 1 minute, of course, not now, into the knees as hard as you can, trying to think of opening up the angle here, okay? We're gonna do that for 15 seconds. So this is the pales contraction. The rails would be like bringing the elbows closer together, but with your own force, not with pushing the knees even closer, okay? So let's start in 10 seconds. First isometrics, push the elbows slowly into the knees. Give me 60% of your effort, 70, 80, 90, and 100 right now. Push harder, 5, 4, 3, and elbows closer together with your own force. The knee or both knees stay where they are, trying to fight for it. Trying to fight to lift the elbows away from the knees. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Stay in here for another 5 to 10 seconds. Maybe you can get closer. Stay upright as possible. And slowly come out. Check out your arms. Awesome job. How did that feel? Hopefully good. So yeah, if it felt good, if you feel it, put it down in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback here. Next up, last exercise, axial rotations for the shoulder. So great. Just the feeling and to feel the humerus rotating in the capsule is just an awesome exercise. So for that, we're gonna use a fist, straight elbows here, and as we internally rotate with the right arm, we externally rotate, so think of a screw. You screw something in the wall, and you rotate internally, and the left arm external rotation. As we fight here, or as we go into internal rotation, think of squeezing out more internal rotation, a few centimeters, a few millimeters here, and the same applies here on the left side for external rotation. Just hold it there a few seconds, and then go to the other side, external rotation on the right side, internal on the left side. Hold it here. We're gonna do 4 more. Really squeeze out the last rotational capacities here of your shoulder. Last 2 repetitions. Beautiful. So that's it. That was our follow along class. We covered the whole body. Yeah, almost the whole body, but a lot of things. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like. This would help us out a lot. Or if you want even more videos about mobility and strength, nutrition hacks, then follow us, give us and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, if you're really searching for a detailed, individualized mobility program and you feel lost with all the exercises out there, with all the variations out there, contact us. The link for a free call is down below in the description. We are here and there for you to bring your mobility on another level. So see you guys in the next one.